Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that. You're going to jinx us.
True story.
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name?
Star Lancer. Boom.
You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Star Lancer.
Huh?
What?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I approve of it.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Dude, what if
Not
our
sure
ship
I'm
what if our ship
completely
gets
convinced,
destroyed?
but, well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Oh, he's have he's destroyed.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right. Then let's go.
Whoa.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
That we're in space?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty
Why do
small
you
too,
always bring that up? Just
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
get over it.
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea.
Tell me we
The
have
starship
this
may end
like
up
a
serving
base
as our of
mechanic or
operations
something.
Once we're down there.
That'd be
Think
sick.
you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different.
Different? Like in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You seem more driven lately, like you found a zest for life. It suits you.
What are you two doing over there? Anyway.
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then? You know, before you came to Dana.
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life. For as long as I can remember. They called it treatment. But in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
Relatable.
They experimented on you?
That's right.
Alphen's so
All
different.
I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one
Whoa.
test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched. Helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse. But then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the
Yikes.
knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right?
It's a fair point.
It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves.
Rin always
That
brings
doesn't
up
mean
the
we have to
differences
give up our
between
own lives to
Renans and
save everyone
Danans,
else's
and
either.
Alphen always brings
We're
up
doing this
it's
to
just
protect
like
it.
slavery all
We're
the
doing
time.
this to save the world from destruction.
Sheehan always talks
that
about
has to
not
include
touching
saving each
people.
other as
Law
well.
always talks about his
a world
dad.
free of sacrifice. That's what you've been
Dohalim is
fighting
like
for all along, isn't it?
a poet,
Not just me.
and
We're in
Cassara
this
always talks
together,
about her
remember?
brother.
This fight is yours too, Shion. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it. The true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means
That
that
is
a Danon
impossible.
victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
There will always be
You
losers.
bet we can pull it off.
If there are to
We
be
have to.
victors, there are
It's
losers.
the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars. We can do this together.
There's one down. What's up, Dohalim?
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegus? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me though, you too have a history with Lenegus. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
He doesn't remember anything.
It is.
As long as he doesn't see that like city that he destroyed,
I hadn't thought about it.
should be fine.
And I can't keep running forever.
Or Naori.
The past is what it is. There's no changing
I
that.
still think Naori's alive.
The
Or
future's what we
something.
make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
Okay. What is Cassara doing all the way in the back? I don't know.
Hey, Alphen, listen to this. So Law and I were just talking, and
Hey, shut up!
Oh,
What's got Law all flustered?
only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's
That's
a starship,
completely
dummy. That's what it's
justifiable.
supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys.
I'm on Law's side.
I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology. It got me to Dana in one piece, remember?
Oh,
Fair.
that's a good point. If you think so, Alphen, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
I get it. Nothing wrong with women that have boots on the ground. And then there's... Oh. And there's you. And God knows where. Wait. What are these? What are you doing back here? What? Oh. Okay.
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is.
It's a
It looks big
cryopod.
enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Oh, you don't say. That should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there.
You're gonna foreshadow like that?
Alphen,
Okay.
was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lennigus, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that mean you were inside for 300 years?
He was
Yes,
doing a little healing.
It sounds crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you.
Completely true.
And not only that, but... Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia? About the dream of coexistence, and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time,
Told
I
ya.
also felt really compelled
Always have to bring up her
fulfill my
brother.
brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now, and those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Danans, wherever they might be, to be free.
So they
If I've
turned,
learned
they
anything on this
experimented on a
journey,
bunch of
it's
Danon
that.
kids
And
300
the
years ago. Do you
one
think we're gonna have to
who
fight a
brought
bunch of
me
like
along
weird
was you, Alphen.
Danon test tube
I'll
baby
forever be
experiment
grateful to you.
things?
Well, we're
I
not
mean,
out of
maybe.
this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Well, that's everyone. Let's see what Dahlon's got. I mean, I know what he's got. I'm looking to land.
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
They just let us land? How then I could
Before we
like
do that,
security
just
breach
what
and they just
exactly
shoot
should
us
we
down?
expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lennigus.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lennigus was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dana. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renin ladder is considered superior to being a Danon. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
She was a test
On
subject
arts alone,
guinea pig.
you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Lost blushing!
I am not!
What?
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this red woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
I would wager so.
Probably.
Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
That red woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
Oh. Oh.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them.
So Lenegis. Woo!
There's no one here. I wasn't expecting to welcome that, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone
Guess that makes
realizes
sense.
that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
Head to the center.
There is an area of the city
Probably.
that is accessible only to the sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Makes sense.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
The red woman.
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters
Do you think
would only
that
court
she
trouble.
took Volron and
In which
he's gonna be
case-
the next like sovereign and they're gonna do this ceremony and whatever? I'm gonna find him again.
Somewhere normally out of bounds.
Probably.
Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
Sure, why not?
There's
YOLO.
only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone.
Here we
Beyond
go.
that wall lies a city full of Renans. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
This area is sick.
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want everyone to know we're here?
So how many Renans actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
Zeugles.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we can't afford to let our guard down after all.
I'm interested to see how they're being used. 'Cause so far, we've just seen them as like guards and